Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. We're having a nice little rebound today, green candles across the board for most of the cryptocurrencies, particularly Ethereum setting a new all-time high. We'll be getting into the XRP and Bitcoin charts to see what the next move is today. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with the esoteric science of Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. If you haven't already subscribed and you like what we're doing here, feel free to subscribe, give this video a like, and share this channel with other conscious people to help grow this community. Also, I'm running my biggest sale yet for the Mastermind course. The price will be $80 for lifetime access to the course, which now has over 100 instructional videos. The way you can qualify for this discount is by signing up for one of my Patreon memberships. We have two lower tiers for supporting my YouTube channel or joining the Mastermind community for a $9.99 a month pledge. And if you've already joined the Patreon and are a Patreon supporter and haven't gotten the course yet, you'll already qualify for this discount. All you'll need to do is email me your Patreon details and I'll get you onboarded into the Mastermind course. My email is in the description below, and the instructions for this discount are in the pinned comment. So let's get into today's video. So first things first, we have Ethereum moonshotting, and I did want to go over this for a second. I'm not a huge Ethereum holder. I'm not a huge fan of a crypto that costs me $100 in fees to send $20 to somebody, but it is what it is. Different strokes for different blokes, as some might say. We're seeing this $2,600 price, and this is a little bit precarious because the market was peeling back the last couple days, and ETH just seems to be completely shredding. The one thing I will mention, though, is we have a new high, but we have to look at this RSI. So the RSI is absolutely in a divergence, bearish divergence on the daily, and that's not looking too good. What this is telling me is this market is probably going to keep chopping. It's probably going to keep making new highs and then get pulled back, making a new high and pulled back. It's not quite alt season at this time, and you can tell because there's just outliers. There's a couple cryptos here and there that are doing really well, while Bitcoin's going down and sideways. And that's typically the kind of action you see whenever Bitcoin's chilling out. And the dominance today being pretty low, below, almost below 50 on CoinMarketCap when I was looking earlier today. So let's just quickly look what's going on. We know we have the bearish divergence on the RSI that we saw down here. For anyone who's new and you're unaware what that means, it just means that we're having lower highs in the RSI and higher highs in price. You can see we're hitting new highs up here, but the RSI is lower today than where it was back in the beginning of the year. Disregard this big liquidity candle, by the way. This was on Kraken. I just randomly pulled up this chart. I don't do too much TA on ETH just because I kind of don't care too much about it. It's not really that crucial for me in my overall analysis. But I'm going to start paying attention to it now, and I'm telling you why, okay? So before I wasn't paying as much of attention to it because during this time around November, when Bitcoin went from like 16,000 to 42,000, ETH was sleeping. ETH was under 1,300. So Bitcoin's show was going until I believe very recently, probably in the beginning of April. We've seen that Bitcoin has become more stagnant and the Bitcoin dominance has started to drop. And with that, you're now seeing alts sort of shine, and the alts that are going to shine when ETH shines are the things that, you know, most of these ERC20s, but more importantly, things like Chainlink, Band Protocol, they're going to do really well. And also, you know, there's things that were doing really well back here, way better than Ethereum, like Polkadot and Cardano, at a time where, you know, it was just struggling for ETH to break that new all-time high. It got to that 1400, which was the previous all-time high back in 2018, barely got that high, only to 2000, and then it just started to range sideways. And during that whole moment, we saw things like Polkadot, Kusama, you know, just going ape. and it was a wild time in crypto. And now we're sort of seeing a different market structure, and it may be because ETH is now taking over in dominance, and it's going to start being a leading indicator. So I'm the type of person that I just go with the flow. If you hear what I'm saying about Bitcoin at the time, it's because it's applicable at that time. We're in a market that is very nascent, and it just, you have to adapt. It is what it is. So another thing that I'm going to bring up is the topside Bollinger Band. I like to look at that once in a while, and we're seeing the Bollinger Bands right now. We're above. So this daily close and also the 2-day close being above the Bollinger Band is a sign of continuation. Just have to see how this whole market goes. The one thing that I'm considering here is the upside target. People keep asking me, like, where's the next upside target for Ethereum? And I'm going to show you how. I'm just going to quickly take a fib from this right here and pull it down to this bottom wick right here. And you can see we were getting resistance at this 1618 around 2,500 on these 2 daily candles right here after the big rejection the other day. And today we're probably going to close above this 1618, the golden ratio, and the next target would be the 2618 around 3,245, and I believe that it's probably going to go a little bit higher to like 3,300 or even 3,333. And the reason for that is because Ethereum, or ETH in Gematria, equals 33, the master number. So yeah, just something to be very considerate of when we're looking at these moves, but I do believe that there's a potential for a fake out. I would not be surprised if this leading move for Ethereum is a huge fake out for more downside in the market. Again, I'm not trying to be bearish. I'm just trying to be non-emotional and give everyone the best value possible, which is not lying to you so that you think that this is going up and up and up forever without no consolidations. The fact that we made this move and got harshly rejected the other day seemed very ritual. Again, they blamed it on a blackout of Chinese mining equipment or whatever the fuck. And how did Ethereum have a huge swap down 25% because of something that happened with Bitcoin? Of course, because it was bullshit. It was news. Don't fall for news. Everyone has to wake up. It is what it is. And at the end of the day, when you're seeing all these other altcoins melt away because Bitcoin is having some mining trouble in China, it's obviously not about Bitcoin. It was about a planned event, a planned whale, short leverage just to get people completely wiped out of their longs. That is what it is. I'm going to quickly move over to the Bitcoin chart. I think we've got the story on Ethereum. It has a bearish divergence on the RSI, like I said before, but there is closures above the topside Bollinger Band on the daily and the 2-day. If you don't really understand what I'm saying, please consider joining the Mastermind course, like I mentioned earlier, because it will give you a lot of clarity into this sort of analysis. Another thing is the Bitcoin chart is looking very, very interesting with the way that it keeps getting bought back up in that low 50s area. Bitcoin is very important to understand at this time because if it starts to melt below 50,000, it will bring the whole market back with it, most likely. So I have a fib pulled from this level, the 61,000, down to this level, and I decided to keep it. I haven't drawn a new fib from this all-time high down to here. And the big reason why is because you can see that the 0 fib, the bottom of where this corrected to, and also about where this candle, a wick, corrected to a couple days ago, is right at the 1618 of the previous fractal. So what I was saying earlier about how Bitcoin was leading during November all the way up to this 42,000 when Ethereum didn't even break 2,000 yet during this whole move. This fractal is going to be one of the most important because as you're seeing here, if I pull the fib from this 42 level down to this swing low at 28,900, you're getting this 1618, which seems to be acting as a resistance back here, then a support here, and another support as of a couple days ago. And then also this previous fractal's 2618 was a perfect level that we got to on the 13th of April and couldn't get above it. It was a rejection. So this was the crystal ball. This whole fractal back here with the ritual 42,000, like 24 for Jupiter or 42, which we keep coming back to in our work. This 63 was really crucial, and I even made a video in my mastermind about a $63,000 Bitcoin, because in Gematria, Bitcoin equals 36 in one of the 4 base ciphers. So everything works in mirrors or as above, so below. Now, there is one thing that I'm looking into how there's bearish momentum going on here. For one, you have the, sorry, I'm going to put it on the daily chart. You have the MACD on the daily for Bitcoin starting to get into the negatives. As you can see, it's crossing the 0 line, which is the first time we've done this since September. Okay, and of course it's flipped bearish. We have the orange above the blue. Another thing is the RSI is now, it bounced at that 38 level, but it still hasn't come down as low as September, where it was around 33. Again, with the 33 number, excuse me. So I'm anticipating 33 to be the next level on the downside in regards to if we start to fail that 50,000 level. And we'll see how it reacts down there. We haven't had lower levels of 33 on the daily RSI since the March crash. Just something to keep in mind. And of course, a very noticeable bearish divergence for Bitcoin as well. As you see, multiple, basically January created all these bearish divergences across the board for a lot of the top projects. Maybe not Binance coin, because that kind of shot up, or Doge, because that kind of shot up. But for the most part, January, this was a very exuberant move up. This is, when the bull market became noticeable in the first week of January. So yeah, we have the bearish divergence on the RSI. We have the MACD crossing bearish below, even starting to get below that 0 point. And what this is telling me is to look at the 55 EMA. Now, I've been bringing up the 55 EMA quite often because it's something that we haven't closed below since September. So we keep having this September thing show up where you can see the last couple days, this white moving average, the 55 EMA, we got support, and then yesterday, near the daily close, we came through it. Today, we actually almost came up to the 55 EMA. Now, that's a sign of this might be flipped as a resistance. So when a previous support flips as resistance, that equals bearish. Let's go back. We can see right here, the last time we saw closes below that 55, it was the same thing. We had a huge red candle right around September. And also remember, this was the last time we saw a cross of this yellow moving average and this white. The white, again, is the 55. The yellow is the 8 EMA. Huge cross here, and that's important because look at what happened after it crossed in the other direction. We entered the craziest move we've seen for Bitcoin in years, right? So this is very healthy, this moment. And look at how sideways and perfect it maintains support. And why did it maintain support so well back here? Let's go back, put on our other important moving average, which is the 21. And you can see if I zoom in, oops, sorry. I hate how that does that sometimes. So this is September right here. I'm so sorry because it looks like all smushed down. But yeah, you could see this orange moving average is the 21 EMA. So this is what we were just looking at, but on a weekly time frame. You see right here, support, 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 support. And then right around here was when the 8 EMA and the 55 EMA crossed bullish, and we just went, basically parabolic from there. So with that being said, let's get back to our daily chart and let's see what's going on here. This yellow looks like it's cascading into this white. So this could be a cross, and we haven't seen that cross again since back in September. We haven't seen the RSI levels that we're seeing since back in September. We haven't seen this style of MACD since September. So this is telling me we could be heading back to the 21 EMA on the weekly. And where does that sit right now? Right here at 44,000. This can tell me that we might pull back to that mid-40s range, even as low as 42, depending on how fast this falls. And there has been scenarios where the wick goes below the 21 EMA, but typically we always close above the 13 EMA. So the way that this can work is we would probably trade into the 50 or into the 21 EMA and then get above it quickly before the weekly close. Sort of like a flash crash, if you want to call it that. So we're not there yet necessarily until we see this market really break below the 50 level, the 50,000 level. It could just trade sideways and be boring while the altcoins are having a party. So let's go back to the daily and let's get to XRP. This is like the fastest analysis I've ever done, even though the video is taking trying to give you guys value. Anyways, so I'm going to get out of logarithmic and I'm going to bring up some of my drawings really quickly. Let's see what's going on here. What's going on here? Oh, this chart. Apologies. Bada bing. Okay, so you can see with this chart, it's the one that we created a while back, and we have this 1618. The 1618 is going to need to be a support as long as this MACD is bearish, which it is. You can see we have the bearish cross. It's flipped red, but we're still very high. And this RSI is above 50, which it is. It bounced at 55. That's a sideways notation. That's telling me that we're heading sideways on XRP. And it looks like this 21 EMA, this orange moving average on the daily, is going to be a strong support until we break below that. We look to the $1.17 range, which is the 1618 Fibonacci. When we break below that, you're going to have to start looking for the 55 EMA, which is currently sitting around 78 cents. I know no one wants to hear that, but that's possible if Bitcoin melts down. If Bitcoin pulls below $50,000, you can see a sub $1 XRP, and then you would have a new trading range somewhere around 85 cents. That would be the trading range, and the reason why is because of this cluster back here. You would basically be seeing a trading range that could go as low as the 55 EMA, and then it would look like this, and maybe even form a rising channel like that, like some sort of megaphone. And that's what I'm seeing for XRP. I believe that because it's below this 8 EMA, and this 8 EMA is crossing down violently, it's a sign that we're going to move sideways as long as the market, as Bitcoin moves sideways. I believe Bitcoin and XRP are a lot more tethered to each other in price action now that XRP has finally caught up. So since XRP has caught up to that that almost $2 range, and it's sitting around that $1, this is exactly what we've been wanting. It's what I was saying from back here. I wanted to see XRP break above $1 and then start treating the $1 as a new support. So as long as it's holding this 1618 in this range right here, I'm still remaining pretty bullish on XRP. I don't think it's going to flash crash like it did back in the SEC days. I think that shit's over. But we do have to admit that the call I made about it coming down in a very like hypodermic top, it's down 32% right now. I was also mentioning that it has a 30-day cycle. That's typically what we see. So if XRP can hold out till around the 5th of May, all the way up to 40 days, and not start breaking below like the 60-cent level, then it would be breaking a pattern that it typically does, which is a pump and dump. If it can stay above this 75-cent level all the way until mid-May, then we could consider XRP out of that like pump and dump phase that it's typically been on. And yeah, all XRP investors can rejoice, because whenever XRP breaks a pattern, that's a sign of very good things to come, because XRP is very pattern-like. And I'm really glad it didn't break straight to $3 like everyone was like talking it would. I think we were very conservative here on this channel, and I'd rather be conservative than overly bullish and then buy into tops. I have way too many people that have contacted me talking about buying into tops and wanting to sell, or talking about selling at $1 because it was supposed to go to 70 cents. I'm like, where are you guys getting this stuff from? You need to be less emotional, and you need to understand we're in a bull run. When we're in a bull run, things can get crazy, as you've seen happen with projects like Dogecoin, Nano, Digibyte the other day, or like you're seeing with Ethereum today, putting on 11% gains. Look at Band Protocol, 20% gains in a single day. This is the kind of stuff that happens when Bitcoin's kind of going sideways and dominance is starting to approach 50. So I'm going to leave the video at that. If you guys would like to learn more about cryptocurrencies and how to do technical analysis and how to use the esoteric code of Gematria to be able to determine what prices and what dates these cryptos will hit before they happen, you can join my mastermind course by contacting my email in the description box. And also, the beginning of this video gave a brief outline on how to take advantage of my best sale ever for $80 on the mastermind course by joining the Patreon first, and you'll qualify for that discount. With that being said, enjoy the rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.